If the meeting hasn't started, Mr. Benson, just making you aware, I don't know who to make aware, but I think you've got a plumbing problem in your bathroom in there. Sink drain isn't draining.
Let him know before she's in there.
I think there's enough room for another hand wash. You're gonna run out. Sink drain issue. Yeah, it's not the business. Okay.
Patty,
Clear.
Patty, you showed somebody the waiting room.
I don't know a good plumber.
Yep.
Thank you. That was the sink.
I heard, I didn't hear everything. I just heard key words that led me to believe you're talking about the bathroom or something. I don't know.
The important stuff works, but the hand sinks doesn't seem to be draining.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Dwayne, give me a pro opinion on this. Should we just get a plumber's helper, or should we call a plumber?
I didn't go in deep.
Liquid plumber.
I tried to do the obvious.
Yeah. So no recommendation. Okay.
I'm almost 100%.
All right, I'll use the clock on the monitor up there for 7:30. Call a meeting to order.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Changes to the agenda. Public comment, if we get into discussion, they'll be limited to 3 minutes. I do have one comment that we have a request for clarification from Mr. Hall about what was said at the last meeting. In order to get that, you'll have to go back to the actual tape because everybody is complaining about noise on that.
I can provide the text of what I read. I can provide the text of what I read if that would help.
I think for clarification, she should go to the tape.
It's fine.
And also, it was not intentional, so apologies.
I'm just saying, acknowledging your request, and she'll have to go to the
Thank you.
tape and get it from there. Number 5 is such a young guy.
There are a couple comments.
Right?
So I took a few notes and I participated in the open meeting law. And there's a couple things I just want to look back on because I'm a firm believer in that we, as I've stated before, we all make mistakes. The important thing is that we learn from those mistakes. So, and I don't have the specific dates, but I hope everybody picked up on the fact that the majority when you're voting is of the seats, not of the bodies that are present. And the meeting I'm referring to is when you guys approved to sign a letter for the bridge project. There were 3 of you here. Denny voted in opposition. And it was assumed that the other 2 voted positively, and that was a quorum. It is not.
Let me clarify something. Let me clarify. We voted a long time ago to operate under Robert's rules.
Robert's rules.
Wait a minute, let me clarify. Stop interrupting me.
State law.
Stop interrupting me. You can smile all you want, but we voted for Robert's rules. And I was operating under that, and 3 out of 5 make a quorum. And if you want to continue operating, I'm just going to ignore you. All right, we're going to move on.
The select board said at the meeting on the 25th that it would create and adopt a policy to prevent future violations of the open meeting law. Has that policy been adopted and posted?
I don't believe it's been fully adopted, posted yet. Part of it was the training that we just went through.
Not the policy part of it. Law gives you 14 days. No one said anything about it because you guys said you were going to do it.
So can I,
By tonight.
Yeah.
Brian,
And it hasn't been done.
yeah, so on the website, we do post a document that outlines the rules for going
The
into.
general rules for executive session,
Yes,
that's not a written policy. That's not a written policy. The select board didn't adopt it. That has to happen in an open meeting with some discussion and vote. The select board didn't prepare this. It was created on April 27th, generated by a computer program called Python Docs. It's co-authored by Cheryl Parker. Cheryl hasn't been in here in I don't know how long. Who's creating public records signed in as Cheryl Parker? This document also doesn't meet the requirements of section 314, which is
Just for a second, this is when you were just showing.
this.
Yeah.
It's incomplete with the logistics of going into executive session. It has other mistakes in it. And I don't know who thought this was all the select board needed to do. Who made that decision? Because the select board did not adopt this and it's not a policy. You had 14 days by law. We cut you some slack because you said you were going to do it. And it wasn't done and it wasn't even written by a human being. How does that pass for thoughtful discussion and creating policy? It's even within the intent of the open meeting law.
Go
Can
for
I
it.
first say, I believe it was our intention to do a policy, to use that, create a policy, and it was,
You voted to do it
And-
by tonight.
Can you
yes,
please let
and
her
I
finish?
remember
So you
that
didn't
now.
do what
Can you
said
please let
Hey,
her
Ken,
finish?
I'm
Stop,
doing
please,
my
please
best.
let her finish.
point of order. Jenny, let's keep this under control, okay? We need to have one person talking at a time. And I
I
think the
was.
chair,
No, she was
excuse me,
speaking.
Ken. We need to have one person talking at a time. I'm talking now. And I'm hoping that Denny will recognize one speaker at a time so we can have a civil discourse on this, okay?
I'd like to finish though. The select
Well-
board didn't do what it voted to do.
All right, we've got two different people trying to answer your question. Jim, you wanted to speak?
All I want to do is have an orderly conversation. That's my only point. So I think we ought to recognize a speaker, give them their 3 minutes, and then recognize the next speaker. And if that speaker was looking for a response from a particular person, then you can recognize that particular person. But I think we need to have an orderly discussion.
Pam, you wanted to say something?
I just had one more thing that I recall from when we came up with our cures to the complaints, that the cure, and this might seem technical, but the cure was to say we would adopt a policy, technically. Am I remembering correctly?
You are, you're
And
remembering it
that's why
correctly.
And that we would
we were
post it.
comfortable going beyond that 14 days, and I understand that was just my recollection of how we went about it, and so it is our intent to still do the policy, I believe.
And the vote was to create and adopt that policy by tonight. That's what the vote was. The select board did not do what it said it was going to do.
Okay. I'm gonna make a motion. The board extend the deadline to get it done, and we will. And go to 26. Anybody want to second it?
I'll second it.
Further discussion? Yeah,
Sorry, what date was that, the 26th?
26.
26.
By law, the deadline has already passed.
well, I'm gonna take a page from our higher officials in Washington, and we're going for an extension.
This isn't Washington DC. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All those in favor of the
Aye.
Aye.
anybody? Listen,
So I think based on how heated things have already gotten, that my topic should not be brought up at this particular meeting, and I'll save that for a future meeting. I do want to go over a couple of violations, just nothing to do with what Ken has reported, nothing to do with what Dwayne has seen, but just in the last 2 months, the violations that have happened within this select board. And of course, it applies to some more than others, but it doesn't really matter. You're a board, you're a team, you go in together, you come out together. So in February, it was noted that you spoke about non-confidential matters under an executive session under the employee statute. On March 10th, in an executive session, you invited a public member into executive session Under 1 VSA 313B, the statute is clear on who can attend and for what purpose they can attend. The minutes and the meeting video from that same meeting do not reflect properly exiting the executive session. On February 24th, during executive session, no one has noted that Kate recused herself in the minutes of the meeting.
It's Katie. Thank you.
Katie.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Katie. And GNAT video did not coincide with that same information. And the minutes were signed by all of you. 1 VSA 312B2 states that the minutes shall be signed and posted. All website minutes continue to say draft. So the public can't really tell whether these are actual draft minutes or whether they're, and this is not a new problem, this is just an existing one, whether they're the final signed versions after changes are made, because changes do get made sitting around the table. I had the same question about the quorum of 3 out of 5 based on select board seats, not the number of members in the room. So I guess my question in that part was, did the paper get signed? If it did get signed, great, fine. I'd like to see a copy of it. If it didn't get signed and the actual vote didn't pass and you went and moved for an extension of time, again, that would have been something that should have been voted on, or a paper would have been drafted for that. I didn't see that either. If you have it, I'd love a copy. The bridge dam project was discussed for almost 30 minutes and it wasn't warned on the agenda. It's where the treasurer was discussing 1.6 million in special funds and available monies to support the balance the town would pay for the project. That item also should have been warned. There are many changes to the agenda versus the actual minutes of the meeting. Under 1 VSA 312D13B of the February 3rd meeting. There's miscellaneous errors, making motions, no seconding motions. Then if there was a second, then there was no actual vote. Again, that's February 3rd meeting. Motion to adjourn, but minutes reflect motion to exit executive session on March 10th. It made no sense. These were all minutes that were signed. Inadvertent violations of recording a meeting back in October was handled properly. It was noted, it was brought up at the next meeting, it was corrected, and there was a plan moving forward to not let that happen again. On November 5th, in and out of 2 executive sessions, the minutes were wrong and they were also signed. This is a complete disaster, the language, and yet they were signed. On the February 3rd meeting, again, sorry, agenda says WCA and select board, but it wasn't the WCA that was being discussed. This issue was about paying Alyssa Sabeto from Wyndham Regional, regardless of whether the town moved forward with the bridge project. And it was voted to reimburse Wyndham Regional and Alyssa for her time, which is very understandable. But again, the agenda item didn't reflect what was discussed and what was actually signed. Again, in March, executive session 1 USA 313A 1F is what you went in under, yet the council later explained that it wasn't to provide legal advice, which is what the statute calls for, but rather to ask how the select board wished to proceed with a resolution to an employee matter. Only 2 members were in that session, so no decision could be legally made anyway. October 28th, select board exited executive session. The minutes reflect the word entered, select board signed them. January 13th, exited again, no second, no votes, no motion, but there was a motion to exit, there was no second, there was no vote, and there was no action. On February 3rd, you went into executive session without proper procedure or vote, went out with the same problem. 1 person recused herself and 1 select board member was not present for the meeting.
Okay, Lisa,
Yep, 1 more. Yep.
your 3 minutes are up.
Oh,
If
okay. Yep,
If
that's
you've
fine.
got a copy of it, please send it to us, please.
Will do, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Anyone else? At number 5, Lexi Young and Jeff Brown.
Mr. Brown and I are here as reps of the planning commission.
Thank you.
So we're here as, we're both on the planning commission, and we wanted to give you guys an update on what we've been doing as far as the zoning bylaws go. We, and we got a grant to redo the entire bylaws, but in the interim, we talked to DRB and they had the zoning administrator, and they had a handful of issues that they felt were of particular importance. So we did a minor rewrite, which we had a public meeting which no one attended. And so we're just here to give you an update as to what we're thinking and what we're doing.
Thanks, Lexi. So first, I understand that you do have a public meeting scheduled for the 26th. Thank you for doing that, because this is the 7 pain points as described by the DRB and by the zoning administrator. So once these are fully adopted, they will certainly help the DRB going forward. Secondly, regarding our project schedule, so as you know, we received a grant from the state. This is for a full bylaw modernization. Our project, the grant runs from January 26th through December of 27, so it's a 2-year grant. In May and June, Matt Backler of the Wyndham Regional Commission will meet with the DRB and the zoning administrator to hear through what are the core issues that they see with our current zoning regulations. And just as a sidebar to that, our current zoning regulations have been around for quite a while. They've been amended many times. And as what happens with those sets of amendments, they start to look very complex and hard to read. And we know that. And process is going to consider an entirely new framework for them, which is moving about making them more readable and understandable to basically the townspeople, because they're really not. They're complicated and confusing. We're going to start with a community survey similar to the town plan survey that will run all summer. And that will end sometime early September. And then on September 10th, hopefully if the libraries will provide it, we will do a public gathering to hear what's the results of the survey, as well as gain additional input on the project going forward. Then starting with the October meeting, similar to what we did with the town plan, we will take a chunk of each set of bylaws, we'll review it, we'll have commentary, public will be invited, and then the following month, the red line edits will come out. We will post them on our site as we've done in the past, and then we will review that, make our decision as a planning commission as to what we want to put forward, and then we'll tackle the next piece in that same cadence, taking the one from the previous month to look at the rewrite and starting the next month, or starting the next rewrite on the next piece of the process. Will continue probably all the way through the spring. We will post that schedule clearly as we've done in the past in a basically in a graph chart that will show you how each section is being addressed, so that people who have interest, let's say in signage, can be there for the signage meeting. And then finally, our goal will be to turn this over once we've gone through the full public comment period, because we will have to hold a hearing at the end of all of this, and then we will be signing off and turning it over to you. Your process, the planning commission, I told you, drafting the proposed bylaws, and this includes subdivision as well. Planning commission will hold the hearing, finalize it, send it to you. As a legislative body, you get to vote to adopt the bylaws. You may make changes to proposed bylaws after they receive the final version from the planning commission. It can be helpful to receive feedback from the select board during the drafting phase so that fewer changes are necessary. So we want to work with you to make sure that we can do that as effectively as possible, because we think we disconnected during the town plan process. So with all that being said, if we just, and it doesn't have to happen today, but we'll take any commentary. Our approach is to post the red lines showing you, here's the existing language, here's what we're suggesting changes, as well as a clean copy, so you can just read through them. Is there any other action you would like us to take to keep you as a select board informed of the process as we go forward? As you know, It's a pretty big volume of work, and we'd love to make it as digestible as possible for you so that you can be involved each step of the way and course correct us if we're doing something that doesn't make sense based upon your experience.
Based on some of the stuff I've gotten or heard out of Act 181, they were some language in there that they were gonna have that would kind of supersede any local zoning. So I guess, is it worth your time to do all this till they actually finish their work and you know what they're gonna do and what they're not gonna do?
Based on 181, the latest reading that I had, which comes from our local congressional individual, indicates that they've already gone through and although it has not yet passed, they are basically either suspending or canceling certain portions of that, including the development of the third district, as well as much of the regulations that were being put upon on the rural population. So my understanding is there's a very significant rewrite of that that's already gone through. I don't know whether it's the Senate or the House. It has to get reconciled, but I think the current read is, Danny, it will be done by the time this legislature closes, which I know is going to be extended anyways.
I know they tried to bring something, one of the houses tried to bring it up for vote day and it didn't make it.
Okay.
There was a big gap.
So we will know what those particular, especially through Matt, since he's the responsible party to make sure he's keeping up to speed on any of these key pieces. And so for example, and I'll just give you a quick example. Changes happening to the flood provisions relative to flood corridor. And this will bring in a whole new set of properties under flood regulations that didn't exist.
In their initial, right, in their initial proposal or in the.
No, this one is
still
already adopted. This is not
So
181.
this isn't the third part,
No,
okay.
this is flood. It's a whole separate group of provisions. The state mandates that these all get adopted in 28. So our approach to this is we're not gonna pre-adopt those, as many towns have already done that. We're gonna wait and adopt it once the state adopts it. But in the meantime, we've already gone through and essentially corrected our existing flood provisions or flood bylaws, so they match what the state is requiring of us at that point in time. But we're not gonna, we've done the work because we happen to get the ability to work with Alyssa Savetto to do it early, and then we're gonna table it. At some point later in the future, we will then put that back on the table for people to comment on. I would do the exact same, or we would do the exact same thing relative to anything dealing with 181, so that we time it in our schedule so that it can actually let the legislative process proceed and that we're working with the best information we can work at that point in time. So things that I wouldn't worry about, signage, for example, that's pretty well adopted. We'll get that cleaned up and move forward. Hopefully some of the things relative to our districts, the way they're set up, those will be fairly easy to move forward with. So we'll tackle the stuff that's not controversial, that we know we can move forward with early on in the process. So we're thinking the fall period, but as we progress, if new stuff is coming out in the legislature, we wait to see what the legislature does. So we don't spend money in rewriting something that has to be rewritten yet again.
Yes, ask it.
Great question. So again, anything that we can do, and again, you don't need to answer today, whether it be if you want us to participate once a month and just come in person and present the red lines so you understand the reasoning behind it, we'll do it. One of us will take each month and do that for you. Just let us know what can, so that the goal is that when we turn it over to you, we're all pretty well aligned.
Understood. The red line that you gave us on the miniature rewrite, you just, is excellent. I mean, it's really helpful. For me, that's much better than going from scratch and having.
The problem with this one is though, that this is really a whole rewrite.
So it's gonna be a lot of red.
Yeah, so again, we're not, in some cases it will be red lines. In other cases, it might be, here's
Full
what
pages.
exists today, it's a complete.
So you're giving us both versions, you said.
Yes.
So that.
Or in some cases, there may not even be a red line because it doesn't make sense.
Because
So
you're
that's,
crossing it all out.
yeah.
Okay.
So again, I think we're volunteering to come in once a month and present what we've done, if that's best for you to move this along.
Can we like come up with a schedule that will work for you guys, like moving forward? You just like look down the schedule for like, you know.
Well, what we're prepared to do is propose a schedule to you that's gonna
Great.
work with the legislature. You'll see it, it will show you each month.
Okay.
And then essentially I mean, you can tell us that, again, I would probably wait for us to go through the first deliberation on it
Mhm.
and then present to you what our new thinking is.
Okay.
And then then you can respond to saying we agree or we don't agree.
Great.
And we can go
Instead
back
of
to it.
locking yourselves into once a month, why don't you look at the idea of how the progress is going and you pick whether you want to come in once a month or pick the
Yeah.
time when you want to come in on the amount of progress you've made to make it worth your while.
And just for me, having a coincide with select board meeting would be, because that's when we're all getting together.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We come to one of your meetings
Yeah,
and present basically the changes and have you make
Perfect.
commentary.
great.
We've had quite a bit of input already from DRB, you know, on what they, and Mr. Goodwin, you know, what their concerns are and what they want to focus on. So, and we'll work it however we want. We try to keep our meetings to an hour or an hour and a half, and you guys usually run a little longer, so we don't want to keep you here too long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we'll put you at the front end of the agenda
We won't
for
make you sit
sure.
through the whole thing.
All right, well, if you guys think of anything, just let us know, either me or Jeff, and
Thank
we'll,
you.
we'll come back and respond.
Alrighty.
Before you guys go, I do need to let you know that the paper could not get the posting in before May 11th for the 15-day posting. So to do that, we would have to reschedule the meeting to around June 4th is the earliest we could do it to get that 15-day posting in. Based on their deadline and when the paper came out, there wouldn't be a 15-day. There wouldn't have been a 15-day posting, and we have to have that.
So we have to
So-
reschedule the meeting.
Yes, so we
Okay.
have to reschedule, and the earliest, if I got it in tomorrow morning, it means it would get in next week, and the 15 days would be June 4th, would be the earliest we could do it.
Well, why don't we do it at our first June select board meeting?
Okay,
Does that sound,
because I'll get it
Makes
in
sense.
tomorrow morning to make sure it gets in
So the
the
12th,
paper.
So that is.
the 12th. Sorry, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
I think it's
Wait,
June 9th.
June 9th.
Okay, so I'll schedule it for June, I'll
June 9th.
repost it for June 9th, and I'll make sure that that gets out tomorrow.
Great.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Do you want to say anything, Jason?
How's it going? Hi, Jason.
You've never been one of these. Usually the road foreman comes in, tells us if he has any major problems or what his projects are.
Just the culvert pipes. And lumber, I think he's the chief for the fire department.
Yeah.
Their truck is down, so we can't flush out two pipes we got.
Okay.
Right now, the one, I'm gonna have to do something with the one, whether it be tear it out, replace it.
Which one are you talking about?
Piper Hill.
Whereabouts?
We're on,
You go up, Lower Dale Road and take a right, and it's just down bottom of the hill right there.
okay,
So it's 3/4 plugged now, and it's gotta be, something's gotta be done with it, cause it overflows and runs down into somebody's dooryard.
How big a one is it?
I believe it's a 2-foot one, 24 inch. I thought about putting a 3-foot one in there, but just not room.
Go ahead.
It's an 18-inch culvert. It has been plugged ever since it got installed, so.
That was 2 foot. Camera, it's 3/4 full.
It's a bigger issue, obviously. If you just put another one, is it just gonna plug up again? If it plugged immediately?
My suspicion is that it's where the joint is in the middle of the road.
It's not a lot of downhill right
It's
there
going like
either.
this.
Mm,
Apparently, the fire department's been there twice
Yep, he told me.
and flushed it, and it doesn't last. But I think the frost has heaved it up on the joint, and so the first section's going uphill. 'Cause I've been watching it for years. And it'll fill right up with water and there's a pencil stream coming out the other end. And the
So it
town-
sounds to me like we ought to just
the
replace it
town's
with a
been
single,
aware of it multiple times.
It's length, they only come in 20-foot
20-foot
lengths,
lengths.
Jim.
oh, so we
They
have to
have-
have a joint,
Mhm.
still,
What would you think of the idea of, rather than having the joint in the middle of the road, put the 20-footer in the center on each side? I know that's another joint, I don't know. Yeah,
It's only an 18, is it possible to go to a 24? We might be able to put a 24.
yeah, but you still got
I
the,
haven't measured it yet, but
there's probably a reason why that being pushed up at the joint, whether there's a boulder under there or whether there's
I think there's a lot of dirt coming from down the road or down the ditch line going in there from some, or somehow. Or has it been doing that? I mean,
Oh, am I allowed to speak,
Yeah.
Mr. Benson? You've got a lot of history in this town, but I can sit here in the corner and keep it to myself. I think I'm someone's son that you had as much history, but.
you can speak on it.
So my recollection, when it got installed, was that ditch was stone lined right afterwards,
yes.
so I don't think there was a lot of erosion down through there.
it's full of dirt now,
Yeah,
right over the top of it.
Right.
So I just, it must be just from plowing or whatever, it just fills it in.
There's probably several reasons.
my understanding was when the fire department went and flushed it out.
Yeah.
They would get a small hole up through
That's
there,
what he told me today.
and then, so
He said the
I used to
first,
be the road foreman in Londonderry, and when Londonderry did it, they would get a hole up through. The South Londonderry Fire Department would do it, they'd get a hole up through, and then they would go on and in on the inlet end and run a tanker full of water at least or more until that thing was clear.
Right.
I think what Weston's been doing is getting a hole up through it and calling it a day.
okay,
And they really need to get another tanker down through there, because I'm just assuming that it's humped up in the middle,
It
but it
is.
keeps replugging.
it's,
Well, I've
well,
never
it's,
seen it
it's
there.
all the way, right straight through it, there's about that much you can look through the top, all the way down through, and it looks even all the way, but.
But if it fills over the top of the pipe on the inlet, and you're only getting like a pencil
Right.
stream on the outlet, obviously there's an issue there.
There's not a lot of flow down through there.
The previous culvert was an 18-inch, maybe even 15-inch metal, and it
There's
never,
no issues with it.
there was no issues. So I think it was an install problem.
You can spend a lot of time dubbing with the one that's in there.
Probably just yank it out.
Well, it might be cheaper in the long run, we can't get out and put it in properly.
Yeah.
I mean, you spend a lot of people's time, you can get fire departments there or somebody else
Right.
there to pump it.
Well, their truck's down right now, their pump truck's down, so they don't even have a pump truck right now.
So, why don't you just replace it, and if there's room, put a larger one in, put it in.
I have a question. What is just because I've never replaced a culvert before, but what is like the time process? How long does it take?
Not long, couple hours,
Just
it's,
a couple
it's
hours.
good digging. It's
Okay.
Not very. long.
Should be good digging.
Okay.
And that's that gray culvert.
Yeah.
I would think you could dig right beside it
That's what
and salvage that, because those are a lot ruggeder than the black ones.
I might be able to get the dirt out of it, pick it up.
Pick it up, shake it out, but maybe you wanna put a 24 in there anyhow and just save that for somewhere else.
I don't know, if it had a 12 or 15 in it before and it was working fine,
I don't know if that was an 18, I think it was a 15, but I won't swear to that.
Same size or next size bigger, whatever you can work.
I'd like to go next size bigger, I think, but I don't know, it's the way it runs is, it's kitty corner on the road, so. Might not be able to get that in there. We'll see. It's not a lot of flow, that's why.
Well, you got both sizes at the shop, right?
Yeah.
You'll have to play it by ear and decide that day.
Other things, the Red International. Do you want me to send it down and have them go through the wiring on it? It's turning into a headache.
When was that truck bought?
It's a 22, I think.
Did you say all the warning lights are coming on?
Everything's on it. It's just been serviced. We just serviced it. Every light comes on it. You open the hood up on it and it's just, all the wires are green. Every one of them. I can take pictures and show them to you if you want.
When you say they're green, is that
They're
salt?
corroded.
They're corroded.
Corroded, yeah.
from salt, yeah.
Yeah.
That truck gets used quite a bit, so that's salt. Oh, everywhere.
How long of a warranty do those trucks have?
It's out of warranty.
Yeah.
Warranty.
And the people who serviced it, didn't notice all the green wires?
That was me, yeah, I noticed all.
No.
I serviced.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
One of the real bad things is, I think, what I'll call the brain or the major fuse box is on the left-hand side.
Coated.
Yeah,
Coated green.
it's on the wrong side of the truck for one reason. Gets most of the salt right there.
Yeah.
So the whole thing have to be rewired,
Rewired or replaced, yeah.
right?
It's crazy to replace a 3-year-old truck. 22,
22.
I think it's
4-year-old?
that's the 22.
4 years old.
Yeah, I
Is
don't
that
know when it was
typical?
put in service, so, because it's set up there in wherever the body was, because I remember right there taking it from the body shop to the paint shop or something, and some modular or something went on it, and it took quite a long time to get it. I mean, personally, I wouldn't buy another truck like that one. The front springs they just replaced in it, they actually had to go through a Chevrolet dealer to get them.
Front brakes.
God bless you.
Back brakes are probably gonna have to get looked at here eventually too. They're making a little bit of a noise, but nothing major, not yet.
Well, why don't you dream up what you think you'd like to replace it with, and we'll think about it and bring it back to us at the next meeting, and we'll not make a decision tonight, but
Yeah.
give us time to think about it, and you dream up what you think
We
you
haven't really
might
been
like.
using it this last week or so, just because it's
Not working.
not, it's running, it runs, but
The lights are on.
Oh, no.
well, and it doesn't run too great like that either, so,
Do we have a quote to see how much it'll cost to fix it?
no, that's why I was.
Can we get that to
Yeah.
compare with
Right.
how much a new one would cost?
In other words, she wants you to call up for complete new wiring harness for it.
Well, and
No, okay,
installation.
I don't know
that's-
these things, so
that's
please
yeah.
educate me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good question.
Okay.
Are they charging an hour down there for labor?
I don't even know. I haven't brought that one down, so I don't know. That was a different place.
Then never mind what I said.
You're bringing it to that place in New Hampshire, right?
AGT, no.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, the New Hampshire.
The New
place.
Hampshire.
I don't even know what the name of it is. I've never been there.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, I know the name of it. I've been shop over there, but it's never been there.
Yeah, why don't you, even if you don't show up for the first meeting in, 26, just give us some paperwork on the price or what you think you like. Discuss it some more. Everybody will have time to think on it.
All right. Good.
Is there any way we can figure out what that truck is worth in trade? Would that be?
We could take it somewhere and have them give you a blue book on it or whatever. I mean.
Yeah,
have to
I'm
look-
just.
I mean, you can get a blue book on it, but it's not gonna be worth what the blue book says.
Well, that's exactly, you know, the purchase of a new one is trading the old one and buying a new one, so if, you know, if it's possible to get both numbers, that'd be great.
Okay.
Trade-ins usually,
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
municipal equipment.
and then selling it, you know, buyer beware.
Well, I think the general public has a knowledge of that such vehicle. Because several towns have had them. They've all ended up about the same.
Is that it?
Huey's truck will be done supposedly Friday, so. Maybe. So, I think that's it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you so much,
Thanks, Jason.
Jason. Have a great night.
Do we know when that bumper's gonna be?
It's an ongoing issue, very similar to what they're experiencing. We've had it at Bulldog for over a month. We have random electronics failures. We've had problems with the ABS not working for forever. Most recently, we tried to take it out and do some work with it. And we have a thing called the pump boss. It's on the side panel, it controls the motor and the pump and everything. And you're supposed to be able to dial in a pressure setting or an RPM rate. And that pump boss will fault out and won't control the rest of the tanker. So, you know, unless some guy sits in the cab and runs the engine manually, we can try to make it work. So we sent it off for extensive debugging. The bill's already $10,000 and climbing, and they still can't solve it. They told us it was fixed, and to come get it the next morning. They took it out and they were right back to square one. It defaulted again. So this is a topic for the trustee meeting coming up this Friday with the department, and that we're going to go to both KME and Freightliner and see what relief we can get. This vehicle has 4,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
It should not be.
How many years?
It's 2014, I believe, so
Okay.
it's, you know, it's old, but it's seen very little use.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense that we're having these kind of problems for something that
Yeah.
doesn't get used to that extent.
Well,
know more.
good luck with it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Jeez, it's just such
Yeah.
a tragic
Well,
crazy.
it's unfortunate to say, but I don't think it matters what brand of cat you get. The electronics in all the new vehicles, people are having all kinds of troubles.
Yeah.
It don't matter which one you get.
They've had the harness apart, they've had computers and boards out of it, they've sent stuff back to the manufacturer. They can't fix it, so I don't know where we're gonna end up with that at this point. It's frustrating for everybody.
Yeah. Imagine.
Just one question, my only reason for being here tonight, to watch the show. Did Kesselring ever submit an engineering report on 1047 Route 100?
On the new land,
Yes.
Say again, please.
did the engineer ever look at it? Is that
I
what you're
know there
asking?
was supposedly a special meeting on the 24th of March for Kesselring to come in and present their results that was canceled because he was a no-show, as I recall. But I haven't seen anything or heard anything if they had provided any kind of study.
I'm not sure about the Kesselring thing, but we
Well, that was the name of the engineer that I read in the.
yeah, that engineer didn't come through.
Okay,
So we've got a meeting, hold on. With an engineer called Ryan Libby.
it's still
Wednesday, the 20th. We're gonna go through, walk the land, and give him a list of, you know, all the different things we're trying to accomplish, and then see where we go from there.
Okay,
So,
excellent. Yeah, I just had no idea where things were. So
yeah, so that's the best I can do.
great, thank you.
Number 8, entry codes.
Oh, there was some concern recently about who was in this building or who wasn't in this building, and I'm not sure about the context, but it made me think that it might make sense to go through our entry codes and just make sure that that they're clean, because we've been canceling some off and issuing new ones and that sort of thing. And I sat with Kim and went through her list, which looked pretty darn organized. But I just am thinking that it might be time to go through and wipe the slate clean and start over again, just to be sure, because there's a lot of distrust and griping going on, and I just think we should consider doing that. Which doesn't mean that everybody has to give up their current number, but I'm perfectly willing to, I'd be comfortable with deleting the whole thing and reissuing new numbers, except for, if someone wants their old number back, great. But so that's my summary, and I'm glad to make a motion to go just start that process if y'all are comfortable with it.
The last I know on that, that lock will only handle so many separate combinations.
I don't know.
Kim? Sorry, can't hear you.
Kim, you're nodding and you're
Yeah.
muted.
I'm unmuted now, aren't I?
Is there a limit on
Yes,
how
you are.
many?
I need to pull out the booklet and look and see. I don't recall how many people are on the list, but it's certainly less than 20. And our procedure is when somebody leaves, we delete the code. There has to be a way to just go back to factory resets and then just re-enter. I'm sure there's some limit, but we haven't run up against it yet.
Okay.
It's a 4-digit number that each person picks, and there's multiple combinations of that, but we haven't had an issue with the quantity of numbers we need.
So I'm going to move that if Kim determines that it's possible to wipe the slate clean and reissue, that we do that, and if it's not, then we won't. That's my motion.
I second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those in favor? Done. All right, we'll do that. Grants and aid.
Oh, delinquent taxes.
Yeah, delinquent taxes. Right. For Pam, this is probably your first one with delinquent taxes. We usually get this list. If we're questioning anything, we just read a number. We don't usually read names. And
Your number to the left.
we look at the list, and usually we take it home, look at it, and discuss it at next meeting if we need to, but this list is pretty short, and some of the people are deceased, some are got written agreements with the tax collector making payments. One of them, I think, is tied up in this buyout, this FEMA buyout, I think.
I did a little talking or did a little research on the second one and the fourth one on this list. And there's a their lawyer is talking to our lawyer. It's all very friendly. It's just a disagreement about, you know, the assumption that went into the assessment, and it's going to get solved in the fullness of time. That's my
That's good.
that's my guess on it.
Okay.
And the top one is in an estate, so eventually that one will get taken care of.
Which one? The first one?
Top
First
one,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
And fifth one down is an estate. Two.
I'm guessing the fourth one up from the bottom, that's gonna be an estate or not, well, it won't go through an estate, but that's because of someone dying? Is that what that one is? Cause that's a big one.
I don't know.
I think I know
Yeah.
whose property that is.
Yeah, which one, which number?
Fourth
was that?
from the bottom.
Fourth from the bottom.
Yeah, ending in 108. I think that's the same technical owner as this one and this one.
Which are the same. Okay.
This is, I would have to confirm, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure
Okay.
those are that.
Then this other one down from the top is another estate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was comparing this to February's, and there was one new one that popped up here that wasn't on the February report, which I thought was weird because it's plunk in the middle of the page. It's 124. It's a very small amount, but I just thought that was odd. Huh?
I don't have the list in front of me and I do apologize,
Okay.
but there was a new one that popped up and the assessor had made changes to 4 tax bills, or to 4 parcels, and said to me, but you don't have to send out new bills and there's nothing to do. And then that one popped up on the delinquent tax report because a value has been changed. Both the delinquent tax collector and I have raised that issue to the assessor, who said they would look at it. I'm still waiting on an answer because that person, if it's the one I think it is, had already had a reduction or a change in values that resulted in a refund that's already been paid. So I don't know why it popped up. If
Okay,
the
but
one
that's
I'm
great.
thinking
I'm
about.
not crazy. It
No.
did pop up.
No, it
Thank
did. Yeah, sorry. It's not supposed to
Oh,
pop up, but it did.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's
You're welcome. And I believe we've had a complaint on a foreclosure on something that's in an estate. But again, without the list on hand, I can't tell you which one that is. Okay.
Okay.
So everybody good with that for now?
I am.
Grants and aid, application for assistant for grants. Let's see. It's Megan from V-Trans.
Yeah, and I have a meeting with her next week as well. She's gonna go over all the grants with me and stuff, such as we have to pay and how to complete everything. So her and I are gonna meet on the 20th at 9:30 to go over all of that, so I can question that as well.
Okay.
Do you want one of us to be there?
You can be, Jason is gonna be there.
Okay.
One of you guys can be
Is
there.
it the same woman that we met with?
Yeah.
Megan. Yeah.
Megan, yeah, right, okay.
That's the Wednesday, the 20th at 9.
Wednesday, the 20th at 9:30. She's gonna come here.
Okay.
Yeah, Jason's gonna come as well, cause he's involved with the grants.
Great.
Number 12. We are looking at, 11. Oh, 11. Oh, little school.
No, tax anticipation.
Number 11.
I'm gonna move approval. We do this every year.
They
Hi, it's Kim. Are
Hi.
you talking about number 11?
We are.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right, it is our standard boilerplate tax anticipation note. The total amount is 375,000. I am suggesting that we borrow it again from ourselves and we pay ourselves back the interest as of whatever it is by October 1st. After we have received taxes, it would be paid in full back by October 15th of this year. The one thing that I just wanted to say is Jim mentioned that there was the environmental review going on with or proposed with the acceptance portion of the block grant, and it was around $60,000. So I hadn't planned on that expense when I was doing my numbers, so I may have to come back to you. That was just an oversight or just something I wasn't aware of at the time I did this. So.
Okay.
Kim, is it gonna be okay if we take this up at our next meeting? That's not a timing problem for you, is it?
It is actually, because we have to pay the school bill. So I'm asking you to approve the tax anticipation note based on the cash flow that I've given you, so that I can pay the education bill that has to be in their hands by June 1st of $1 million, roughly.
Okay, so I'm gonna move approval there.
I second.
Further discussion.
So I guess I'm confused. Is this amount going to change potentially?
She'll come back for another one.
Yeah.
Another one
in
on
addition
top
to.
of.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I try to be very cautious with what I'm asking for and make it enough. And I just had not anticipated a $60,000 bill coming in for the block grant environmental studies. And who knows when that'll come in. So yeah, so I'm asking for this amount now, though I may have to come back and ask for more.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those.
You got the signed copy? I've got one right here.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
The other one's slipped up in some other paper. Okay, Katie.
Thank you.
Add little school entry keypad and back up to enter the building. Hello.
How are you?
Very good.
So I submitted the estimate from Countryside for the keypad. So this winter in particular, the keypad froze multiple times, pretty much whenever it was 0 or below. And that's the only way that we can get into the building. They came out and replaced the keypad, but told us that it would only be a temporary fix because the system was so old, and said that it should be upgraded. And that's the estimate that they gave, which would include another entry point in the back door. Because right now the back door, once it's locked, you can't get into it. The way that it's designed, it's has a magnet system. So as long as the power is engaged, you can't use a key to get in. So that's basically where we're at. So this estimate would include 2 new keypads, and then it also comes with software so we can deactivate it. From like I would be able to deactivate it from my phone if I had to, if we were locked out. And we can add codes and do all the things that we're supposed to do. Apparently, the system was installed in 2015, so they said it was pretty much has lived its course. So,
John, there's no issue with getting out of these doors under any circumstance. I mean, if there was a fire and everybody jumped up and started running out of the building, you can go from the inside out no matter what, right?
correct. We just can't necessarily get in, but yes, we can get out if there's an emergency. Yes.
And is it usual practice to have the fire department have entry keys to your building?
They don't at this point that I know of, because there's no key. They might have a code. They probably have a code to get in, but there is no way to open the door with a key because of the magnet. And then there's no locks on the other doors, like the door in the attic and the door on the back door. There's no way, once it's locked, there's no way to put a key in. There's no keyhole.
But
It's kind of,
I'm just talking about having emergency responders able to get into the building. You're going to be able to do that, right?
if we got this system, then yes.
Okay.
Right now I could give them a code, but if it was malfunctioning, then no, they could not at this point.
So Dawn, it's Brian.
Hi, Brian.
So, hi, they replaced the keypad, right?
Correct. Yes.
But yet they're telling you that that's not going to hold up when it gets cold. Like that's what I don't understand when I read this.
Yes. So they said that they weren't sure whether or not it would work moving forward because something about the temperature, because it's just too cold and that's why it freezes up. And then they said, and because part of the second part of it was, well, if we fix the keypad, then can you put in another way for us to get in? Because there were just so many days this past winter where it would take me 15 minutes to get into the building. And they said that there was no way to do that without putting in a new system.
Okay, so the new system's going to have a redundant entry. So if the keypad fails, how do they get you in?
So they have, what they've told me is that they would have the same system in the back, on the back door. So there would be, if one keypad froze, they're also going to give us a certain number of the fobs. So they said that if the keys freeze and stick, you can use your fob to scan. And then there's also this way, I guess there's an app where you can, not everyone, but there are a few of us could have a way to use
Use a what? Sorry.
I'm sorry, my phone. Use my phone and let deactivate the door so that the magnet would disengage.
Like an electronic override to the lock via your phone for certain administrators.
Correct. Yes.
But could that freeze? Is it actually the way that this keeps the door shut that's freezing, or is it just the buttons? Because that's what I'm just.
Yeah, no, so it's not the magnet. I guess whenever there's power and then there's a battery backup system, so even if the power goes out for X amount of hours, the magnet still stays engaged. So what freezes is actually just the keypads where we punch in the numbers. And for whatever reason, I guess because of the magnet system, you can't use a key because once the magnet is engaged, the key doesn't work. It'll unlock the door, but the magnet won't disengage. It's kind of a ridiculous system, but from what they've said, there's no workaround for it.
John, Jim Linville here.
Hi.
How many people have access to the building now? Roughly.
I would say maybe 15.
Okay, so the 25 cards or fobs is plenty for everybody to have, to cover everybody who's got it, right? Who needs it.
Yes.
Now they got to guarantee this won't freeze up.
That's what they said. I mean, guarantees, I don't know. I mean, they said that because of there's the bypass system, then they said that even if this keypad freezes temporarily, we should be able to get in one of the other door or right with the card or with the other door or on my phone is what they've told me. So I don't know.
I wonder if it wouldn't make sense to have a normal lock on a door in case of emergency.
They said,
Just a
I
plain
asked
old
that.
fashioned, yes, key.
Yeah, that's would be my ideal scenario, at least in the back door. But both they and the locksmith, because I had a locksmith come out because I couldn't get in and I wanted to have them try to cut us a key. And he came out and messed around with it and said that the expense to change the back door to a door with a key would probably exceed us getting a new security system because it's one of those doors that has like the bar lock. And I guess to install a handle and a key would, he said, be very excessive. So I don't know. I think the whole thing is a little, but
I do too, because I mean, I just feel like so many people out there have key systems in Vermont, right? They have second homes and they put one of these key locks in for people to get, and they don't freeze up that I'm aware of. I mean, I'm not disputing that yours didn't freeze up. I know it did. I'm
yeah.
just wondering.
But also, the
yeah.
system is 11 years old, right?
Correct, because I looked at the
system's 11
receipt.
years old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
was,
you're
it was
forgetting
in,
one thing. The quality of whatever it was made of in cold weather, plastic shrinks. And so that could be messing up everything else involved in it. But
Either way, Dawn can't get into the building.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, doesn't change the fact that she can't get into the building when there's school happening, you know? I mean,
Not a bad idea.
I think we need to
And
kind of
this
pull the
isn't a
trigger on
second home,
this.
this is a school.
This
Yeah.
is, this
Kids
is a
in it,
municipal
that,
building.
You know,
Quickly from the fire department.
yeah,
Yeah.
All we have is a key and a Knox box, which obviously will not open a door for us the way it's configured.
Right.
So you don't have a
Yeah.
code.
It'd be possible to
We-
request a code and place the code within the Knox box, so if we had to enter, we could access the Knox box and enter the code to unlock the door.
Okay, yeah, because we actually broke into the box because we didn't have the code to get into the box, and we thought that if we found the key, we could get into the door. And we got the key out of it, but we couldn't use it.
This is taking a lot of time.
yeah.
This
So
is like
here's what I think
Yes.
we ought to do.
It's a good
Todd,
discussion though.
Todd and
it
Dawn,
is.
you two need to get together,
Okay,
not at this meeting.
correct.
Okay, and in the meantime, I'm going to renew my motion to approve this new system.
I second.
further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Don, Danny Vincent, before you go, I believe in 27. Contract for the little school in the town is up. Get somebody from the board to start talking with you guys about any changes or what we want to do with the new contract. I don't think she heard me.
Dawn, did you hear that? Can you hear
Oh,
us?
I'm sorry, I heard, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were talking to me. Yeah, the about the contract is up next year, so we need to talk about that. Is that what I heard
Yeah.
correctly? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess since I don't really know how this works, I'm sorry. So should we just schedule a time to talk about that, or how would that work?
Yeah, I think probably a member or two from the board should talk to you and get things hammered out rather than everybody spending a long time getting it.
Okay. Okay. I'll let Stefania know to get in touch with you all about that. So for the door, should we go for? Should we? I
Yeah,
understand it was
the vote was
approved.
affirmative.
So I should just tell Countryside to make an appointment, or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, Dawn.
All right. Have a good night. Thanks.
All right. Now we gotta review minutes.
I wonder if we shouldn't, postpone approving all of these minutes until we reviewed Lisa's.
I think that we should talk,
Okay.
To review, oh,
I don't
what Lisa said.
what Lisa said.
Did any of her things have to do, they were all
I don't know.
February
There,
and
it
October?
I heard
was, no,
February and
February.
It wasn't any of these, but.
I think
yes,
for
Well, Lisa's
clarification, we
right
should go
here.
back. No, she's not.
No.
Oh, no, she isn't.
Okay,
But I think we should go back and clarify and be very diligent.
okay, so then let's do that. I'm sorry, Jim, that was your motion, I jumped in.
No, it wasn't a motion, it was just a comment, because Lisa was reading this list and I'm going, I can't take this in, I didn't.
Very overwhelming.
But I do have to say that in what she was saying, there were some notes that I had here for some of these notes that were in line with some of the things she was saying. So I don't think it would be a bad idea for us to kind of go back at some of these and then, yeah, hold them off.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to hold them off too long because the list is getting
Right,
this long.
That's right.
right, what's the process for? Just cause I'm new.
So the process should
like
be
if
that
you-
Patty sends them out to us via email.
And
and
then
we
you
can-
send Patty any corrections you have?
We can, all of us do.
Yeah.
And then she brings them to us back at the meeting for us to approve formally, so that she can change it from draft to final.
Fine,
Okay.
right, and that usually happens at the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Yeah, and those are the corrections that people sent to me, but I only got corrections from Brian, I believe. He's the only one that sent me any changes, so whatever's there is whatever changes were sent to me. No others were sent.
I think we should put your thing in form of motion so it gets in the record correctly.
So I'm gonna move that we postpone approval until we reviewed them in light of another comment.
A second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, let's see, we got payroll.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you, Todd. So I'm gonna move approval of payroll check warrant report number 9 in the amount of $8,981.18.
I second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Sand, huh? Going.
Just to get the discussion going, even though it's a pretty big number, I'm going to approve, move approval of accounts payable check warrant report number 9 in the amount of, hold on, $1,187,299.70.
I second.
And where's the big?
State of Vermont.
State of Vermont payment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, taxes due to state, that's the tax anticipation note,
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next up is, whole business is, radar and speed sign update.
Okay, so I don't remember, so if I go backwards, apologies. So I think I told everyone that I reached out to Mark Pickering, at Vermont Trans, and he put me in touch with Christine Driscoll, who's the traffic operations manager at V-Trans. And she gave me a list of things that we would need, in order to move forward with, putting these signs in. One of which was a speed study. And so if we have a speed study, it has to be within the last 5 years. So Kim gave me a copy of our last speed study, which was in 2019. So it is not 5 years, it is 6 years, 7 years. So I reached out to Chris Campany at Wyndham Regional, who put me in touch with a lot of names here. Colin Bratton, who's a transportation planner. He has been, very, very
What's the name again? I'm sorry.
Colin,
Colin.
Colin, Bratton. Not
Brad.
Colin, did I say Colin?
You did.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
hilarious.
Colin Bratton. They are able to do, Wyndham Regionals are able to do an updated speed study for us at no cost. He's working on a date to get back to us, but he doesn't think it's gonna be more than a few weeks.
Great.
So no cost, and that will do, they'll do the counters, as they call it, the counter. And so I asked him, what is the time frame for that? Because we need a full 7 days for that, right? I don't want it to be, a Monday, Tuesday. So he said usually 5 to 7 days, so I'll push him to make sure we get a full 7 days on that. And then with that information, then we can continue to move forward with the process. So it's a process. This is all just not committing to anything, but just getting everything together. So that's where we stand right now.
Great.
Questions?
No, thank you for doing that.
And may I add, I spoke to the guy at Londonderry, sorry, what was the name that you had given me, from the select board over there?
Yeah, Tom Kavanaugh.
Yes, he was really, really great. And I just reached out to him because they just did 6 of them in Londonderry. And so, he just gave a little bit of background about making sure that some of the things that the stumbling blocks were, the posts weren't large enough you have to be at least 5 feet off for the bottom of the new speed sign. So he just gave a little bit of logistics like that. So anyway, thank you for that contact info. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry, that's Dan.
Yeah, go ahead.
So where will they be checking the speed? Because one of the things I noticed is that there's a sign partway up Chester Mountain that I call it Lucy Bergamini's place. What's that guy's name that bought that?
First corner going up Chester Mountain.
Okay.
The last name's Prin. Now that
Wait,
I-
where on Chester
Print
Mountain?
on the left.
The first
The
corner.
artsy
Okay, the
house,
first corner,
they call it,
okay.
Yeah.
No, this one's on the right.
Oh.
That'd be the next place up. Just
Oh, as you're
the
going
next
up,
place
it's on
up
the
above
right.
Nikki Pfister's.
As you're going up Chester Mountain on the
Chester
right,
Mountain,
that is.
on the right.
that
On
is
her
print.
side, on Nikki's side.
On Nikki's side.
That's print.
So right in there, there's a 30-mile-an-hour sign. So
Correct.
Right in there. So will you be checking that?
I don't know where, again, he just responded to me today with the fact that it's going to be 5 to 7 days and we haven't determined any of that yet. So your suggestion is that we have it as you come down Chester Mountain?
Yeah, somewhere in that range, because it's posted as 30 right there. From the
Yeah.
corner down to the cemetery. And what made me think of it was the oftentimes that we just had a funeral last weekend, and there's no parking there, so everybody parks on the road.
Right.
And they shouldn't be going 30 down through there because there's one-lane traffic when they have a highly attended funeral.
So I don't know how many places we get to ask to do it, I'll find out, because we certainly want it on both the north and south sides coming in, right? But yeah, I hear you.
Last time it was done, there was one right in the area of the entrance to the Walker Farm. One of the lines.
Right.
And then the other one
At the
was,
stop sign, how much speeding was done there?
no, I said the entrance to the Walker Farm.
So as you're coming in past the gas
Oh, right on
station.
Route 100.
On Route 100.
Past the gas
Yeah.
station on your left there.
Yeah, right at the entrance, or you go into the office or out to the back. And then I think the other one was down somewhere around the inn at Weston.
Yeah, that's the north, yeah, I would think somewhere in those areas, yeah.
Yeah.
And just to add to that, I think Patty, you had sent us out a reminder that Natalie had sent that email. And I figured that kind of be Natalie from the bakery, or really from the Weston, right?
Yeah, she said
that with the bakery, she wants to make sure that we're considering the fact that there's more traffic there and perhaps asks a sign to be moved back. But I think this kind of all incorporates into what we're doing here. So that was my thought on that.
Yeah.
But
It's about the speed.
so respond to her and
All her contact information.
yeah, can I have the
Because
two?
I've
Yeah.
got some old stuff at the Weston.
Okay.
That'd be great if you could distribute that out, yeah. So maybe we'll just fill her in on what's happening with this too, so.
Yeah,
Peace of mind.
I'm trying to, she requested some pedestrian signs and stuff like that, and I met with Todd LaRue and Will this morning to just clarify exactly what the issues are.
Okay.
So I'm gonna meet with Natalie and go through all this stuff.
Oh, no, I'll have to get,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, no,
I'll send it
sorry.
to you. Yeah. I don't
Great,
have it.
thank you.
Thanks for doing that, by the way, Jim.
Yeah. It's your fault we had that meeting.
It is. It is.
Yeah, but
Good for me on that.
Hey, Katie's drawn up a welcome letter for town of Weston. Everybody's got a copy if you.
Yeah.
It's a packet, really. So we did the letter 2 weeks ago. That was just, and also I'm waiting for some edits back from someone, and but this is essentially what would be the welcome packet. This is like all the prevalent information that you need to know when, like, say you're moving here. You know, when the town report comes out, if you're trying to choosing to be a full-time resident, you know, homestead declaration, income taxes, or state Vermont income taxes. You know, all the different municipal groups that we have, a brief history of Weston, all of the education schools that are provided to choose from, and it goes on from there, starting with Weston Community Association and all of their buildings. It gives a history of them, from the Mill Museum to the Craft House to Cold Spring Brook Park. Then we go into Wilder Memorial Library and then to the Weston Theater Company. I have not put anything specifically. So it's pretty large. What I want to do is I want to edit down each piece so it's around the same size for each part of Weston that we're featuring, which, you know, for example, the Green Mountain National Forest, the Ladies of the Village Green, the Trout Club, the Greendale Campground, Weston Rec area, and then go into places of worship. You go into the cemeteries. It has pretty detailed, and then I incorporated copies of zoning permits that you can take off of the website, that so someone can have an idea about how to apply. This also goes hand in hand with some conversations that I've had with the DRB and also with, you know, Planning Commission. And I figured that we could give each one of the groups a overview and have them look at it and say, this is what we want to say about ourselves. So it's 14 pages, it's extensive, it's very kind of specific, but I am going to have Kim and Ann and a couple other people help me edit it down so it'll be a little more clear. When I say clear, I mean shortened, because it's extensive.
Yeah.
Fine.
Will a copy of that be available tomorrow?
I can give you a copy right now if you would like to look at it.
Here.
Sure.
And, I feel like I may have missed some stuff. I, did the best that I could in, in this solo kind of spearheading of this project.
There has to be a first draft somewhere.
There has to be a first
Yeah.
draft somewhere,
This is
and
it. Yeah,
and this is where
You
we
got
are.
something on paper.
You
Yeah,
got something on paper,
absolutely.
now we can move forward.
yeah.
I figured we could have land maps and everything
And
incorporated in
Katie,
this.
here's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing you've got an electronic copy of it at your home and you can print off a copy.
I have it right here.
Can you give me one?
Absolutely.
'Cause I just
Yeah.
sacrificed mine.
I will send it right over.
Good, thanks.
Here on it.
I just wanna, so one of the things that we originally were talking about, this
Yeah.
is great, by the way.
Thank you.
When we're, one of the things we were talking about was making sure, like you said, that people understand certain things that they might not know. And it's, I think this conversation was partly spurred by the whole driveway discussion, right?
Well, that's why, so I have a specific thing in here that talks about access to driveway if you're planning on changing doing any improvements that are attached to a town road. It gives pretty specific things about access right of way permits required, which is why
You have that in there.
that's why I have it in there. It goes from real estate property tax due dates to when the due dates are chosen, zoning permits for construction and land use changes, access and right of way permits required,
Always see that, okay.
transfer stations, everything that
Okay,
you
great,
need,
great.
everything for registering your dogs, everything that gives, other town groups, planning commission, development and review board, flood resiliency committee, the listers, justices of the peace, Weston Community Association, board of civil authority, board of abatement,
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
meetings
no,
and
I-
agendas, forms, everything.
I like-
So it's pretty specific,
Some immediate feedback from me is I
Yeah,
like
sure.
the fact that that stuff that you're talking about, that we really want people to notice is in the front.
yeah, and
I think
I
that's-
have
that's
this, crazy weird program. My laptop, actually, the screen broke, so it's not distributed the way I would like to, but it's a draft.
No, it's
Right,
great.
it's a draw.
A lot of that stuff is there, which is great.
All right,
Thank you.
that's it.
Then we got website update.
Any question? Did you find out anything about pricing?
Yes, so Katie brought up last meeting that we need our website to be ADA compliant
Mhm.
to receive the grant money. So I went around and talked to a bunch of towns to see if their website is and who they use and the process they went through, how much they pay. A bunch of towns aren't ADA compliant, but the ones that are, that I talked to, the first one was Londonderry. They did a whole process to get their new website, committee, put it out to bid. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
And they went with a company called Revise. They pay $5,560 a year for 5 years. That was the contract, and that included setting it up,
How much was that?
$5,560 a year
Wow.
for 5 years. But there's, so
But that's
Is
only for
that
5
you?
years.
that's for 5 years, that's the contract, and that was like the design, the setup, and now maintenance and support and hosting it and all those things that go into it. And helping the people within the town who post to it.
Because I'm assuming that as the laws change in those 5 years, that's what you're paying for them to keep it compliant.
Keep it compliant,
Right.
and yeah.
So it's the idea of like, what is the contract? Is it, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
wherever we're gonna
And
do.
so then the next town I talked to was Middletown Springs. And they are a smaller town. So didn't feel like they needed as much. Like she said, she really just wanted a better website at a cheaper cost. And theirs is still really awesome. Like it still has everything you need. And they went through a company called TownWeb, who Vernon also uses, and their website's awesome. And then a couple other towns in the state. And that one was
Are they
only-
ADA compliant? though?
Yes.
Oh, they are.
ADA
Okay. All
compliant.
right,
Yes,
cool.
the only ones I'm talking about are ADA.
All right, great.
And theirs was $2,400 for the first year. That's set up and design and hosting and support and all that, and then $1,200 a year for the next 3 years. So that's like super reasonable.
Wow.
So I liked that price a lot better than some of the other ones I
And-
saw.
And you know, our website, it's not like we're starting with no website at all.
Right,
We've got a website.
right. I'm sure they can take what we have
Right.
and just make it
Modify it.
better.
Yeah.
It's got great content, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
think, right? What we
Yeah.
currently have.
Yeah, yep, just take everything that we have on there and just put it into this format that's ADA compliant, and I'm sure they have techniques to make it more user friendly and easier probably for our staff to
Right.
to do their part and put stuff up there. And one of the things that I loved about both of these companies is they have an opt-in where people in town can sign up for either text or email alerts with meeting agendas. Like you can choose what you want. So if you say, Dwayne says, I want every select board meeting agenda as soon as it's posted, boom, he would get it to his email when it's posted.
Yes.
And then also like emergency alerts, or if Piper Hill's gonna be closed because they're digging up the culvert, you could have that sent out and people would know. So that's a really cool feature that I liked. And Middletown Springs, they didn't do the big, bid process or committee. It was just the town clerk and the people who were gonna be doing the content and be most involved. She didn't look at many companies, I don't think, because she knew she liked Vernon's website and Vernon uses town web. So she just got information from them and went with them.
So also on a separate side note, in my extensive dissecting of the website for doing this, there's not enough information.
Yeah.
I had to go through and I had to pull from several different places to compile everything that I just put in here. So it's not that simple, actually. It's a little more complicated. And I just think it's a little more extensive than that if we really want to be detailed and not just because I put stuff in here that was not on the website. That is a part of our town.
Right.
So just a little
So
side note, just
point those things out if we do
Right,
go through
right, if
this
we go through-
process, that
right.
you want those things added in.
right.
But yeah, they have templates and it'll be a whole new website.
Kim has her hand up.
Kim,
Yeah, Kim.
Kim,
So, Katie showed me a website a few weeks ago that was pretty cool. And I was just going to suggest that can we start a committee of like 3 or 4 people, Katie and me and whoever wants to volunteer or just coerce them or just volunteer them. And then we could come back to you with more information because Katie's right. Our website has been done to serve primarily the town government, and our needs and our wants for our needs for information have evolved since it was done about 10 or more years ago. So I just think we're at the point where we need to put our brains together and come up with a plan. I love that there are these other companies that do it, and I had one more called Civility, and their initial quote just to do it was $1,400 and maybe $1,200 ongoing, but I'll pull that for you. Is that something you'd consider doing?
yeah, I would love to do that. I think we should start it.
Here, Katie, you want this? This is from Middletown Springs. This was their quote.
Thank you.
She gave me a copy.
I appreciate it.
Is there another department
You're gonna
to suggest?
be with us, right?
If they want me.
I would love to have you.
Yeah.
I would love it.
Yeah,
So,
I'll be.
I
You
just,
need your wealth
I
of
know they would
knowledge.
love to have you, and I just wanted to make sure that they said it.
We need your wealth of knowledge and your vast experience with towns and social networking.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure. Happy to help. And Patty, you should probably, because you're gonna be
Patty,
posting to it, so you'd be a good person to be
you're gonna
involved.
be dragged in.
Roping you
I'm
in.
getting dragged in now.
I'm getting
You're
dragged in.
welcome.
Kicking and jet out. I was at this meeting. You're only supposed to do that if somebody's not at a meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready
Do you
for,
have to make a motion and have a vote on selecting a committee?
I would like to make a motion on forming a committee that would start spearheading the new Weston Town website and the informational, the new Weston Town website. Just start there.
A second.
discussion?
Should we include the members?
Should we include the members right now or should we just
We could
Open it up.
them.
Wait to see who.
Who's
wants to be part of
interested?
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I second that, or if maybe there is a second already.
Seconded.
All
Yeah,
those
you
in favor?
seconded, right?
I did,
All
yeah.
right.
Alright,
Aye. Thank you.
We'll go to 16 and before we get off on something else and I forget it. I mentioned about the contract to the little school. And gotta have somebody who's can think about coming down the pike. Don't have any hard information on it. If this red school district ever gets things straightened out, they're gonna siphon a lot of the kids from the little school for pre-kindergarten. So to fill the void, and like I said, I don't have any hard information on this, but they're gonna take in younger toddlers. And I'm just guessing at this, but I assume that if they get younger toddlers in there, there's gonna be a need for a lot of upgrades. And I think in the contract, it ought to be spelled out who's gonna pay for it. I mean, we're already heavily subsidizing it, and I'm not sure how much, because there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe, and I'm not sure the ability of the town to handle the financial end of it. Cause you've got, this bridge out here, which is gonna need some sort of financing. Cause what the guy told us at a bridge inspection thing. So price he give us on the bridge up on Greendale, which is a lot smaller than this one, was 2.5 million, so. This one out here is gonna be a lot more. And we're probably gonna be looking at a school bond for new buildings, if the shred district continues the way it is. Our department's gonna be looking for a new building. We've got something we wanna do with the land up there. There's a lot of potential expense coming down the road, and you know, everybody says, oh, well, this only costs a few dollars, this costs a few dollars. But it's the bottom line when they add up and divide by the ability to pay. And so when we do things, we gotta think of the long-term effect, not just the immediate. So. Any volunteers to start talking with the little school?
I'll talk to the, no, you want?
Oh, let's both do it.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I wanna learn more anyways.
But. All right, so now we, agenda format discussion of business.
Well, I emailed you all, just suggesting that we beef up our agendas a little, put more details. And especially after watching the open meeting training, they definitely say you want to be as specific and transparent as possible. And most specifically, I thought the old and new business, agenda item should have more detail. And in looking at other towns, they pretty much all of them, I think the only one that I looked at that didn't have old and new business, but usually they have old business and then bullet points like Patty did this week. So that's kind of started doing it already.
It was great.
And then new business and bullet points of what we're gonna talk about. And that way, if anyone is interested, they know we're gonna talk about it. And also for planning, you know, we know, okay, yeah, we're at our last agenda item, but we still have 10 things to talk about. So I just thought it might be a good idea to add more detail.
That would be okay, but it can't be limited to just what's posted, because if we're working on different things, old business and new stuff comes in between the time it's posted and the time we have our meeting.
And that's where you still have changes to the agenda at the beginning, of the meeting. And so I think it says in the open meeting law that you have to, at the beginning of the meeting during changes to the agenda, you choose, okay, yep, we need to talk about this in new business or this in old business. So you just add it at the beginning of the meeting, and that's okay. But it's just better to have, if we know about it, put it on there.
That's great.
Yeah, as long as we have, to Denny's point, as long as we have the ability to add
To
things that
add
are coming
stuff
up.
like that night, that day.
That's, to my thought, that's the whole idea of
Yeah.
business stuff that's just.
And I
come up,
think,
but yeah.
you know, I was late to the table on the open meeting thing, but they suggested putting public comment at the beginning and the end of the agenda. And I feel like, I mean, if Dwayne is sitting in the corner and he raises his hand, no matter where we are in the agenda, we call on him, right?
We do that already, yeah.
Right?
We do that, we've always
Yeah,
done.
I think what they
Are you
suggested-
not willing to admit that, or are you just gonna smirk at me?
Mr. Benson hasn't told me I could talk. He put me in my place earlier, so.
Well, no, that was a point of order.
Trying to be a good boy.
No, that was a point of order. And so,
Yeah, but I don't feel I was treated as the same as other people in the room, so I'm a little disappointed in that.
okay,
I got shut down pretty rapidly. There was others that went a little further. But that's okay. I know my place.
I think it's about the spirit of it all, and the spirit of transparency, the spirit of being together and working together as a community. I think it's about the spirit.
yeah, and we're trying to do that. And, you know, when we've got several people, there's a lot of, you heard me, I got a little ticked off at the beginning of the meeting because everybody was yelling and talking over one another. And that's not a productive process. So trying to get one person to talk at a time and not have everybody else interrupt them. And you know, we're doing our best to solicit public comment. And if you felt shut down, I'm sorry, but we're trying to get some order in here so we can have productive conversations rather than just having everybody yell at once. So every once in a while, when everybody's yelling at each other, somebody's got to stop yelling. And pretty much maybe everybody has to stop yelling and wait till they're called on. And so we're just bumbling along trying to do the best we can here.
And being in the spirit of community.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was my suggestion.
Thank you.
And also
Very good.
there was another thing that I liked that we could mull over if you guys are interested, but there's a lot of places having announcements on their agenda. And that can be where things fall that are just like, it's not gonna be a discussion, it's just like, hey, there's a training, or hey, there's an event happening, or we got a letter from so-and-so and nothing needs to be done about it, or like, we got a thank you, or, you know.
Yeah.
We get lots of those.
Should that be a separate item?
Yes,
than
most
public
towns
comment?
have public comment, and then they have
Announcements.
announcements slash correspondence, or
Oh,
just
okay.
announcements.
Cool.
I like that.
If we-
I like that.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
And one more thing, while we're on it, in the training, they mentioned that we need to have on our agenda how people can access the meeting virtually. So we should have, is that anywhere?
It is on the, it's on
Oh,
the
it's
agenda.
second page.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
It wasn't on the
It
first
gives-
one.
Yeah, it
It
flips
it
over.
gives everything.
Yeah, okay.
It gives the phone number. It
It's
gives
also all over our
the Zoom
website.
link. It gives, you can go to the
Just
separate
making
websites.
sure.
You can click
Yeah,
on
no,
the
good stuff,
link.
good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I think those are all great ideas.
I like the
Yeah.
announcements.
I have a general handout here. It came from the ranger.
Those are, yeah, from last,
Martina,
yeah,
got it.
from the forestry department,
Mm.
from last meeting.
Thank you.
Sent that to me.
You got that?
Yeah.
One, yep.
One more.
Sorry.
It's okay. I handed it over.
And these are forestry projects that are going to be done in our area
Yeah,
this year?
what they talked about, at the last meeting, that's basically what's in there.
Oh, this is their like 5-year plan or multi-year.
Yeah.
plan.
Got it.
That's what she sent me and asked me to share it with
So-
you guys.
In May of 2029, they're gonna do some clearing up around the trout club area. So,
Yeah, they do a lot of these 2, 3, 5 acre clear cuts for habitat
Right.
mhm.
birds.
Yeah, we did some on our property and they said, we don't call them clear cuts, we call them conservation cuts. It's the same thing.
No, it gets environmental off their back. All right, so Jason's gonna be back with his ideas for a truck. So you guys wanna think about what you think we might like, should have stuff.
And we have, I think, Jim said, I think you had a piece, and I think Kim was working on a piece of all of the pieces of equipment with like.
A depreciation schedule, yeah, and I haven't done it.
No, I thought you already have some. Kim put something together, but it's not depreciation, Kim, right?
Correct. I just made a list of all your vehicles, all your heavy equipment. The year it was bought, the price, the current mileage or number of hours, and I can just email that out to you. I also had something that came, a list from the insurance company, and it just had to do with replacement and insurance and that sort of thing. But anyway, I can just email it. It's just a simple spreadsheet that you could then add your replacement years or whatever, Jim.
Yeah, perfect.
That would be great.
That's
Thank you
really-
so
I
much,
don't have a
Kim.
visual of
I don't, it's
the way
hard to
you
keep
guys know the
everything.
equipment,
Yeah,
so that would really be helpful.
Kim, in that insurance thing, did they put a valuation on them?
They did, but I can't remember if it was actual cost or projected replacement cost. Most were, I'll just look at it again, but yeah, they had a cost.
Mainly interested in a small truck.
Okay, I'll look at it in the morning and let you know. And my battery's about to go, so have a great night.
Thanks, Kim. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you,
Thank
Kim.
you. You're welcome.
Other than that, unless somebody's got something else. We're adjourned.
Great.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Great meeting.
Recording stopped.
Yeah, good mess. That's cool.
Oh, you're gonna send me your copy.
I'm gonna
No
send it
wonder
to
I don't
you.
have it.
I got it.
Okay.
So you're
I'm
gonna.
sitting here hunting for it.
I will send you a copy.
You can all what you want.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I'll print it.
Well,
Yeah,
you
I'll review the,
review the page.
I thought that what was said because sometimes it's hard to hear because people
Right.
aren't loud enough.
Gina has a
Yeah,
copy of it.
yeah, I will listen to it again.